Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion. Warning. This video contains super awesome content not suitable for people who don't enjoy super awesomeness. Viewer discretion advised.
Welcome to Viewer's Choice. Your selection is about to begin. But first, take a look at what else you can see this week.
Hey, dudes, inviting you to travel through time. First stop, a long layover at the video store.
Bogus.
Wait, you've got Viewer's Choice.
Excellent.
Hello, you rotten little bloodsuckers.
America's most populars now get extra value. $12.50 cash back.
Rise and shine, Mr. Freeman. Rise and shine.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth! What? Say what it is!
Let's get out of here! Like now!
When life gives you lemons, don't make lemonade. Make life take the lemons back. Get mad! I don't want your damn lemons! What am I supposed to do with these? Demand to see life's manager. Make life rue the day and thought it could give Cave Johnson lemons. Do you know who I am? I'm the man who's gonna burn your house down with the lemons.
This is my ship, the Nebuchadnezzar. This is the core. We broadcast our pirate signal back into the nations.
Welcome to the Nebuchadnezzar with your host, Anesto Morado, the double-headed coin, and your co-host, Pablo Morado, the Thunderbolt. Together, we are the Pyramid Podcast.
Have a nice day. Thank you.
The right man in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
What's the hardest thing about podcasting? You gotta do all this stuff yourself. Go ahead, buddy. Do it. Go ahead and do it. Go ahead and spend money. How much does AdSense make from at the beginning? Not a lot.
The world's two largest superpowers. China is firing yet another round of salvo against the United States, ratcheting up duties on American imports to 125%. The move comes in response to President Trump's latest reciprocal tariffs on Chinese imports. NTV's Sam Wong has the details.
At the gates to the Vatican this morning, signs of the ancient rituals following the death of a pope now in motion. The arrival of cardinals gathering to finalize funeral details, and eventually the conclave, where a successor will be chosen.
It's a soaring ego. What am I talking about here? Let's talk about Trump executive orders in 2025. He's already signed 111 so far. That is the most at this point in a presidency in at least 100 years. In fact, it's the most in any single year. We're only in April since Harry S. Truman in the early 1950s. The bottom line is whether you like Trump or you don't like him, you can't say that he's coming and not try to deliver on what he at least believes was his promises on the campaign trail, and he's doing so in historic fashion. Identified aerial Phenonmenon, UAPs. 3 retired military veterans testified before a House subcommittee. One was asked about alien bodies. 2 others talked about seeing UAPs. In a moment, I'll talk with a retired Navy pilot who saw with her own eyes what one UAP was capable of off the coast of San Diego. Welcome to the most banned podcast on the internet with your hosts, Anesto and Pablo Morado. Broadcasting to you from the depths of the Nebuchadnezzar and fighting the unseen hand in search of truth. Join us as we go digging in the valley of the real for current events, conspiracies, and paranormal phenomena. This is the Pyramid Podcast. Don't forget to follow us at paranormal.experience on Instagram, at Pyramid Podcast on X, formerly known as Twitter, and Pyramid Podcast on YouTube. Every follow and like gets us one step closer to exposing the rumors of the deep state. So let's light a fire of wisdom and take back our sovereignty.
International cities might using US 31 southbound. Your average speed.
Is that the new over there? Yeah, that's the new. We'll be back.
Burgemeester, wat is er nou zo bijzonder wat voor kanten?
Als je de mooiste... Welcome. That's with your host. Welcome to the most controversial conspiracy podcast on the internet. Tonight we're going to be going over some very interesting topics when it comes to the passing of the Pope, as well as some information about what's going on with China, some very funny clips as well, some Are You Going to Hell, and some very interesting news when it comes to the UFO world. Welcome to the Pyramid Podcast. This is show number 125.
Yes, sir, Bob. How you doing, everybody? This is Anesto Morado, along here with Pablo Morado, and let's get this thing rolling.
That's opportunity knocking.
Yes, sirree. That's opportunity knocking.
That's right. And this show is brought to you by Pyramid Supplements. Reignite Your Play by Pyramid Supplements. You can find all our links at thepyramid.com. So, how was your week?
The week was good. I had some visitors this week. My daughter came over from Jersey. We had a good time. Just slight little interruptions here and there, weather-wise. Of course, the clunkers that we're driving around, they kind of, put a kibosh on the weekend activities. But nevertheless, it was a good weekend. We haven't been on here since Easter, right?
Yeah, since Easter. So since last Friday. Yeah.
Right. So I hope everybody had.
The Friday before last Friday.
We were on the Friday before Easter.
The Friday before Easter, right.
Right.
Exactly.
And we wished everybody happy Easter, happy Passover. And now I'm hoping that everybody had a fantastic holiday, in which once Passover and Easter, is on the back end, as we pass on by through the year, now we get ready for full-blown summer.
Yes.
I hope everybody has good plans for the summer. And let's get going. Let's make this year a good year. It's amazing how fast this Lent went by. I did my 40 days of fasting. It was great. It was a good little reset mentally, spiritually, and biologically. Got my system rolling, and I was able to go through the Lent process. And believe it or not, I use my Paramount supplements that help me get through the hump.
Reignite your play with Paramount supplements.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, so that's amazing. Yeah, so I mean, that was an amazing weekend for me as well. Got to spend time with my family. Got to spend time with my sister-in-law. She just came back from Hawaii. Got to know a little bit more about my...
Oh, your sister-in-law was also in town?
Yeah, she was also in town. She came by because
she picked up the doggy?
Yeah, we were dog sitting for a little while, so she picked up the dog. And, yeah, it's been a very interesting... a week. A lot of things have been going on. The days just kind of blend into one.
Absolutely.
But I learned a little bit more about my wife's side of the family, which was very interesting. My sister-in-law really opened up and gave us some more details. And it got me thinking about screenplays. Because I always, for those that know, for those that know my wife will understand this statement I'm about to make. But I've always, I told my sister-in-law, that if they were ever to make a movie about their life, it would be released in October.
Okay, so sort of like a horror movie.
Well, it has all the elements. It has the mafioso drug cartel, element to it, and then on the that's like the bad path, and then on the good path you have the animal sacrifice and things and all that going on the other side. So it's like this, and then there's also a human story through it all.
But you cannot
a relationship story going through it.
You cannot just roll by and say animal sacrifice and not let the people know what the hell are you talking about. They might think that your family's kind of like some.
No, I mean, like, for example, the Jewish people, they sacrifice a red heifer, right?
Absolutely, but you're talking about 1,000 years ago, not in modern day times. What he's talking about is that his wife's family are santeros, and part of the santeria and that religion is common practice to do animal sacrifice.
Right, so there's a lot of things, that's
which could be horrifying,
and maybe it's something that we could discuss here on the podcast. It's part of paranormal.
It's a horrifying thing.
Well,
for a kid. Well, if you grew up in the religion, it's kind of
perspective, right? Because let's say if you grew up on a farm, right? Let's say a farm raising cattle for meat and steaks or something like that, you're going to be used to, killing animals regularly, right? And that's how you grew up,
Right, but we're killing them to consume them as part of dinner.
Well, yes, but it's still death nonetheless.
Absolutely, but
it's still horror. It's not. But I'm saying it's like the horrifying aspect kind of gets softened a little bit when you grow up into it, I think.
Right, but what I'm trying to say is, for a person who's grown up in it, for example, if you go to DR, right, our crib.
Right,
and we're in the campo, the what we call the bush, right? Because this is where we're from. We're hillbillies, right? We're very rural, off the grid kind of a thing. And if we go over there, it's common practice for the mom to say, "So and so, go get me a chicken." Now, if you're from the United States, you say, "Oh, go get me a chicken. We're gonna go to the refrigerator and get you a pack."
Right.
In DR, they bring the whole freaking thing alive. And then they, in common, kids always are creative.
Right.
Right. They do the Spinderella with the neck.
The Spinderella.
And for you being a kid from from the States and you see something like that,
right,
it's horrifying. But to the kid, it's normal practice. Even though the parents don't condone that, the proper way to do it is you get an axe and click.
But exactly. So, like, it's common practice for those little things to happen in certain cultures. In their culture, that's what they go through. But from a regular American, Western culture, it would be like, it's like magic and mystical and spiritual and a lot of things that they would not, mess with, especially, very heavy Christian Catholics would not even they would not even be wanting to dabble or know anything about it, because the less they know, the better, right? Kind of a deal. But in any case, the reason I bring that up is because I was watching an interview with Robert Rodriguez, and he I really learned a lot from the interview. It's with Joe Rogan.
And not to interrupt you, but I had a different take on Robert Rodriguez. I really didn't like his body of work. But it's because there were some things that I saw that were from him that I didn't like. Not that he's, how do I explain this? His movies to me work a little bit cheesy. But I didn't know his body of work in total. I remember watching 4 Rooms. It's a little cheesy. Okay. I remember watching.
So 4 Rooms was Quentin Tarantino's idea, apparently.
Yeah, but he had his hands on that. Right?
Yeah, so he directed and stuff.
I really didn't like it. And then there was Grindhouse, which some of the episodes in Grindhouse, because if I'm correct, Grindhouse is 4 stories. Am I correct?
Yes, I think so.
Yeah, some of them I liked, some of them I didn't. Right, and then there was Spy Kids.
Right.
Which I guess because I'm not a kid anymore, I didn't enjoy it.
Well, of course. I mean, since you're an adult, right? So when you were watching it, it was like, you could watch more entertaining action movies, right? But for a kid, you couldn't really see PG-13 movies yet.
No, and I get it.
And it had an element of action. So
it's geared towards them. I get it.
Right.
I get it.
But I'm saying, like, as a kid that grew up in the era that it was meant for, I enjoyed it. And in fact, as a matter of fact, I even now am showing it to my kids. So
my kids?
Yeah. So I enjoyed it.
So you enjoyed it?
I enjoyed it, yeah. What I didn't realize growing up was that Cheech is in a lot of his movies, from Cheech and Chong.
Yes, he is. And evidently, he has, Robert Rodriguez has a really good relationship with Cheech.
Yeah.
Because he's one of these guys, he's a team player kind of a deal.
Right. And so I watched Dusk Till Dawn again this weekend.
Okay, so then here we go. I was under the impression that Dusk Till Dawn was a joint effort where Quentin Tarantino and Robert Rodriguez had their hands in the directing of the movie. But it turns out that Quentin wrote the movie.
Exactly.
And Robert directed the movie.
Exactly.
I was always under the impression that the first half of From Dusk Till Dawn was Quentin. And then the last half was Robert.
No, it's all Quentin.
So it's all Quentin. So I had, because to me, even though I love Dusk Till Dawn, the ending when the again, this is a spoiler alert.
Well, it is weird because
hold on, just in case my mom is on. Hi, Mom. Hola, mami. In case you're on, yo la llamé a usted para Easter y usted no cogió el teléfono. Yo la voy a llamar esta semana. Si es mami que está en la línea. Anyhow, so I was always under the impression that Robert Rodriguez was the one that was responsible for the vampire.
No.
And some of it was cool. It just, to me, it got...
When's the last time you saw From Dusk Till Dawn?
About 6 months ago. This is a movie I always go back to.
So I just watched it.
The beginning of the movie is fucking fantastic.
Right.
They could have done a movie on that alone.
Well, that's what I'm watching this, and I was like really blown away because you have to also think. I was thinking in terms of back then because I'm also listening to or reading Robert Rodriguez's book that he put out. So I'm going back to when he did that movie, right? And all the things that I now know with more context. And it's like that movie was the very first of its kind. That movie was very groundbreaking, right? And the whole point of the reason why he did it that way was because they were contracted by
Miramax.
No, it was
Sony.
The people that put up money for the helped put up money for the movie, they were what do you call it? Special effects people.
Okay, and they wanted to showcase
their special effects
skills and special effects,
and hence that's what the back half ended up being. But I was watching the movie, and I was like, this dog Quentin, he had to get Salma Hayek's foot in his mouth. I mean, you could tell in all his movies.
That's his signature.
But he
does have a foot fetish.
But he managed to write it for him. How coincidental that he happens to get Salma Hayek's foot in his mouth in the script.
But I have to agree with Joe Rogan. Quentin plays such a terrifying character.
Oh yeah.
In the first half of that movie.
Oh my God. That guy was, and then there was a point where,
and I'm surprised that over so many years they haven't tried to make a movie on how
Quentin got like that?
No. Quentin and his brother. His brother is, what's his name? George Clooney.
Right.
How they got up to that point and ending it right after they have, again, spoiler alert, when they get to the liquor store. But can you imagine? He's been,
No, that would be a very interesting sequel. But apparently, there's been sequels.
A prequel.
Did you know that there's been sequels?
From Dusk Till Dawn?
Yeah, I don't know if it was.
I think there have been, but I don't. Did Robert Rodriguez have his hand on it?
I don't know. I don't think so.
But a prequel, how he busts him out of jail, and how he lands in jail, how George Clooney, before all that, how he had to deal with Quentin's strange proclivity of killing, girls. Cause
clearly he didn't notice, he didn't realize that about him until until those events unfolded. Because he's like, what do you think I do? I'm not a killer. Like, I'm not here to kill people. I just want to rob people and go on. Like, what is the matter with you?
But I also think that he might have had an inkling,
probably,
of that this guy has a strange fetish
It's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Once I found out that Robert Rodriguez actually directed the whole film, and then I wasn't aware that he also had done Sin City, and to me, Sin City was a groundbreaking film. Being that I am a huge, and I mean huge with the capital H, a Frank Miller fan. I love this guy, Frank Miller. His comics, you know, as a kid, they were always, I was taken by them, especially Frank Miller's Batman, you know, the busted up old man,
right,
and Sin City and other stuff that he did, you know. So I was like, oh shit, Robert Rodriguez did this also. But then he also did a movie that it was cheesy, but I liked, which was the Mariachi, right? Oh. Okay, so that means we're at the end of this segment. But quickly, he did the Mariachi,
right?
But I really didn't enjoy Desperado. And he also did Once Upon a Time
in Mexico.
Right? He did that?
I'm not sure. Maybe.
I wasn't too fond of that one either. But nevertheless, to end this segment, he did say some fascinating things. Why? Because I kind of gleaned a simpatico with him, in the sense that, people that know me know that in here, I have all these ideas for movies, right? I got the Gun Savant, the Curious Case of Tony Mao. I also have Gun Savant, Curious Case.
Well, don't give them all out. We want to keep some of them.
Well, I'm not saying the plot. You know, these are just titles that I have in my mind. Each and every one has a plot. But what I was doing, right, that I wasn't aware, because I also had another idea for the boom slang, right? But again, what Quentin is doing with From Dusk Till Dawn,
right,
was like, oh my God, I do the same thing. Because Quentin encountered a problem from Dusk Till Dawn. He couldn't get a studio to make the movie,
right?
Because to the studio, it was like, what is this? It's like two movies, like the beginning of the movie is like this, but then you got the ending of the movie like this,
right?
Like, it doesn't make sense. So he had problems marketing.
But then also, who was Quentin? Nobody really knew who Quentin Tarantino was at that time.
No, but again,
then Reservoir Dogs comes out.
Yeah, but this is what I'm getting at. The fact that he felt From Dusk Till Dawn was not really going to go anywhere.
Right.
So he started plucking scenes out of From Dusk Till Dawn and putting it in other scripts that he was working on. Which is what I've done. I have plucked things from the boom slang and put it in Gun Savant. I was like, like for example, famous scene in Pulp Fiction, Ezekiel 17.
Right.
That's from Dusk Till Dawn.
Right.
He plucked that out and gave it to Samuel Jackson's character.
Right.
Which is genius.
Right.
And it makes sense that Ezekiel 17, right? It makes sense that would have been
in From Dusk Till Dawn, right?
When I can imagine that this is Harvey Keitel.
Oh, probably, yeah.
When he sees what's going on in the bar, I could see Harvey Keitel reciting Ezekiel 17.
Right.
So it gave me a new appreciation. That's why you can never say the words like, I don't like this guy or I hate this guy.
Because you never know.
Because you never know. Once he started going through his process on how he creates, it blew me away.
Right.
You know, he does, for people that haven't seen the interview, is Robert Rodriguez on Joe Rogan.
We're at the end of this segment, so we got to kind of scurry along. But I got a couple clips here. So, I'll put some.
Well, before you put the clips up, I just got to make one statement. This whole thing that he says really hit home. That we are beacons. It's not that we're these super creative. I mean, we are creative, but we got to allow that transmission to come in, and you are the radio. And you, by way of your creativity and your muse, create. But it's something that's always been in the ether.
Right. It doesn't have hands.
Right.
So it uses your hands.
Right. And you extract this from the ether. Because when they said his famous scene of Desperado, when he's walking, when Antonio Banderas is walking and the explosions are happening in the background, you know, he really did something innovative with that scene.
Right.
It was groundbreaking. Unknowingly.
Right.
So, fascinating interview. Play the clips and then we'll move on.
All right. Here we go. Why isn't playing? Oh, here we go.
Didn't match the script at all. Everything was falling apart. We asked you how we're going to finish the day, and you said, well, I don't know, we'll see what happens. And we thought, oh my God, is this the movie that finally, you know, he can't figure out? But by the end of the day, we figured it out. And their eyes were all wide. And they don't realize that's the creative process, and that's every day. In life and in work. In life, you don't know. You're going to figure it out as you go. Art should be the same way. And by the end of the 2-week shoot, they're interviewing him. He's all waxing philosophical about the creative process like he's been doing it for years. He goes, I never knew how my dad did mariachi. And then now I know because I just did this project. He didn't know either. He just started. And he figured it out day by day. Most people never start. I mean, he succinctly encapsulated everything I try to say in my book, which was you just got to go. And identity is key. Identity is the main thing. All these people who are out there, you got to tell them this. If you are listening and there's something you're not getting in your life that you really want, the set didn't match the look.
I cut off the best part. You got to change your identity. So
which is very powerful, in my opinion. Right. You got to be careful how
we're not hobbyists. We're legit radio disc jockeys. We're radio broadcasters. We're podcast hosts.
Podcasters.
You know, we're not aspiring podcasters. We're podcasters.
We, by all set and purposes,
are podcasters.
We are podcasters. But another thing that he said that it was, you know, it hit home is, if you look in the background, that's all my work. You know, everything you see in my background is my work. And he says something, it's not about one particular thing you do. It's the body of work.
Right.
That opens the doors to more bodies of work.
Right.
But if you sit there trying to extrapolate just one project, and you just like, I'm waiting for that muse to come in. I'm waiting for that muse.
Oh, forget it. It'll never
You'll
come.
be there forever. You just got to start. Let it happen and create a body of work. Some of it will be not as good as others, but these things do open the doors. Like, for example, and we'll end it with this. Never in my wildest dreams, as I was doing all of this, did I ever think that this is going to be the background of my podcast.
Right. But you had a body of work.
I had a body of work.
And with that, it's time for our
Welcome to the AM/PM game show where Pablo and Anesto Morado attempt to determine what is going on in a video found online. Using only their ears and their third eye, the host will make a guess on what is going on. If the host gets guesses correctly, they receive $20,000 of a fiat currency that no longer exists. So what do you say, folks? Shall we play a game?
Is theater of the mind. Radio is theater of the mind. But radio is theater of the mind. It's imagination. It's imagination. Is theater of the mind.
Yes, it is. Radio is theater of the mind. Thank you, Joe. May you rest in peace. You were the one that inspired this game show. And before we launch into the AM/PM game show, going back to Robert Rodriguez and his great advice about identity, I want to add to that. Sometimes, not in all times, but when you do create your identity, right, you're going to say to yourself, I am a writer. This is what I do. I'm a script writer. That's my title.
Right.
Or I'm a podcaster. Right. This is what I do. Sometimes, and I'm taking a page off my parents, sometimes you got to do stuff on your own and incognito from the people around you. Because believe it or not, the haters can put a kibosh on your dreams.
Yeah, I mean,
and he says something very poignant, like don't blink. Yeah, that's what I was getting to. Don't listen to the comments. If you're doing a podcast, don't go by the comments. Or people say, oh, this is not going to work or whatever. That's like people throwing rocks at you. Right. Just don't blink. And the way my parents look at it is, just don't tell. You cannot. Your successes, sometimes you got to keep it to yourself. Because some people can project hatred and despair, and so sometimes you gotta know when to talk and when not to talk. And that's very important. Even like my parents, even if you're gonna buy a car, or you're gonna buy a business, or you're gonna buy a house, their first thing is, or you're gonna sell something, keep it shut. Keep it to yourself. Once it happens, then upon your choosing, can you tell people what had just happened?
Oh, I say that to my coworker all the time, because in sales, people get this, and that's
counting your chickens before they hatch.
And in sales, Robert Rodriguez definitely opened my mind, because if you're in sales out there, one thing that he mentioned, which we were talking about, was not letting your ego interfere, right? Being the vessel, right? And in sales, sometimes you let your ego interfere, and that prevents you from getting all that is possible with sales. You just got to be the conduit for the higher knowing power to work its way through you, and the results will follow. Just be an open. And I thought of it like with the Matrix. You got to free your mind.
Absolutely.
Right? And that's what he was doing. He freed his mind from his ego. And all of a sudden, he's able to do things.
I also believe that, let's say Robert Rodriguez was making a script, and you're going around saying, oh, I got this monster script.
Right.
I'm going to change the game.
Exactly. And then it bombs. Right.
My mother would say, cállate la boca.
Right.
Shut the F up.
Right.
Let it manifest first.
Right. And
let it grow. Nurture it. Let it grow.
And then when it happens, be humble.
Yeah. Be humble about it.
Oh, yeah.
Because we have a term.
I wasn't expecting for this to happen.
We have a term in Spanish. Mm-hmm. It's called alabancioso.
Alabancioso.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
It's a boaster. A guy who's like, oh, yeah. When before Castro, my parents had land, cigar company, all this stuff. I got this and I got that. Oh, I am the president of Paramount Supplements. I got a whole Paramount Supplements company. And people be like, "Mírate asqueroso." This maggot trying to like, it's like a delusion of grandeur,
right?
But if you keep it quiet, this is what I love about my mother's advice. If you keep it quiet, right, and you blow up, and you keep it quiet, and then somebody's like fishing around the internet, and they're like, "Who the fuck are these guys? They got 1.2 million views." What? Anesto and what? Oh, wow. I know those people. Right? They're surprised. Like, oh, my God.
Right.
But before that happens, like, oh, yeah, I'm a podcaster. I have this huge podcast.
Oh, 2 views.
Yeah, and then you get the guys like, look at this guy. He has 2 views. He's a podcaster, I enjoy what my mother says. Go under the radar. You sneak under the door. And then they're like, holy shit, how did you get here? Love it.
Oh, really quickly, since you were talking about, being very careful when to speak. So really quickly. So there's a story I come across. So a Japanese husband has gone 20 years without speaking to his wife since she upset him. Even though they continued living together as a family. For 20 years, he didn't say nothing to her.
Damn.
Because she upset him. I'm not saying a word.
Wow.
Yeah, so, there's more. Hold on, let's see if I can get the...
Oh, my God. Yo, this guy.
Let me see. This should be a carousel or something.
They probably, actually were partaking of meals, sleeping in the same bed.
Yes.
But not talking to each other.
It said something, okay, a Japanese husband has gone 20 years without speaking to his wife since she upset him, even though they continued living together as a family. Hold on. There's more to this. Hold on. Let me see if I can find.
That is fascinating.
And what happened was he got on a game, his son, I believe. Let's see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Let me see if I can zoom in here. So... their son eventually contacted a Japanese TV show to help reconcile them. The husband admitted that he had been jealous of the attention Yumi gave their children and had felt unimportant.
Talk about holding a grudge.
After 20 years, the husband finally spoke to his wife.
Wow. By the way,
the game show, no less.
By the way, This is something you found, but I know people like that. I know people that be like, "Oh, you did this to me, you're cut." And they won't say, no matter how much you plead, I'm sorry.
20 years
later, they still hold on to that.
It takes a game show for you to speak up.
Thank God that I had traces of that within my system. I used to hold a grudge. I was sending that to the warlock. The older I get, just letting things go. It's not worth it.
No,
it's toxic.
I told that to a coworker of mine who has a really nice car, very fast car, and he's constantly getting speeding tickets, and he's like he's paying for them, and he's paying through the nose, and he's like I gotta find a way to like control myself. Now, and I told him two very important things. Because he says the problem with him is that another nice car comes along, starts revving their engine, and all of a sudden he gets egged on to race, right? And then, because that's what happens when you have these nice cars.
I was there at one point.
I said the best thing I've learned is the power of nah. Because you do that, not only infuriates them, but it gives you all the power. Because now you're in control. Nah. The same thing with road rage and people trying to like.
I experienced that in Florida with my good friends, the Chens. This guy kept, my friend has a really powerful Mercedes. This is that 12-cylinder beast that he has, right? Kept on having people like. And you see, Anesto. Yeah. This is what I gotta deal with.
I've picked up on that from him before, because people would do that in the AE86, and he's like, "What? Are they gonna pay my gas?"
Exactly. He's like, you go and blow your gas. But this particular case, guy kept on. He had one of these. Ping ping pings. One of these hooked up little Honda Accord. It was a Honda Civic. The one. He's like, oh Christ! And he just said, "Let me just teach him a lesson." He just hit it once on the throttle. Boom. Blew him away. And then he went back to, it was just a tap. And then the guy caught up to him and said, "Yo, man, that's not fair." Dude, you were the one that was egging him on. Well, we digress.
Let's get into. So this is round one. You did it last week, yes. So I'm going to get it kick-started off. What is going on in this clip? And listen carefully.
These Asian clips always get me.
So
they're always doing something weird.
What are these people doing?
All right, do it again. Wow, this is hard. What I'm hearing is like either he's like banging something, or like ding. That's where it even sounds like he might be typing, right? And the thing is like what the typewriter goes ding, and then you back.
You want to use a lifeline? We should start throwing in lifelines here. Would you want to use a lifeline?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so I'll give you a clue. So it's a competition of sorts. So what is the competition?
One more time, give me a play.
All right.
What can the hell this be? Now this is a competition. So there are two people competing against each other?
Yeah, I'll give you. You want another lifeline? You want another
one more?
All right. It says the caption is when her competitive nature is revealed.
Oh God, gee whiz. Wow, this is hard. All I keep seeing is like
your pineal gland is working.
Okay, I'm gonna take a stab at this. It's like some kind of whack-a-mole.
A whack-a-mole.
Yeah, like some things are coming up and she's like, ding.
Is that your final answer?
Yes.
All right, so he's saying it's a whack-a-mole, folks. And, you know, we're going to include the audience a little bit more. So now that we have people that are chiming in, we have people that are reaching out. If you are on the side of Anesto getting it right, please tell me I'm wrong. If you want to say that I got him, I stumped him, then say vote for me. I'll put just put Anesto. If you think Anesto got it right, put Pablo. If you think I stumped Anesto. So here we go.
It better not be penises coming out of a hole.
The remote viewing is pumping.
Like these things coming out of a hole and she's smashing.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to put this up on screen for everybody. All right, here we go. Here we go.
Curiosity's killing me.
All right, let me see if I can make this a little bit bigger for you. Let's see. All right. Let me start it from the beginning. Here we go. So what is going on in this clip?
Describe this for the audience. It weren't penises coming out of a whack-a-mole. But what is happening is they have a bucket, right? Like a small bucket covering a bellhop. You know, the ding.
Right, a bell.
Yeah, a bell. So they're both banging on the bucket, but the trick is to take away the bucket, and if the opposing side hits the bell, you get a smack.
Right. You're supposed to trick them. So I get an opportunity to smack it or pick up the bucket.
Right.
You get an opportunity to smack it or pick up the bucket.
And if you ring the bell, I smack you. And if I ring the bell, you smack me.
Right. And underneath the bucket is the bell. Right. So if I pretend to hit it, but then I pull out the bucket and you smack the bell, then I smack you.
Right.
So it looks like maybe a husband and wife duo doing this. Because
the wife is getting the better smacks in.
Right, he smacks her, but he tries to do it lightly. You know, he's like, she's not having it.
She's taking a personal.
Oh yeah! Look at her face in comparison to his. He gets red real quick. Oh man! So what do you think? Do you think you get? What do you think you got?
No, I might get I'm gonna get a because I knew they were banging on something. I just didn't know what the whole bell and all that. So you get to choose your topic.
All right. So let's see.
All right. So that part of the AM/PM portion was brought to you by Paramount Supplements. Please go
Paramount Supplements. Reignite your play.
Reignite your play at Paramount.
Just go to thepyramid.com. Just go to thepyramid.com and you can
go to our link tree.
That's right.
Page. And you'll see there, as it says on the bottom of my screen, you'll see our links and Paramount Supplements will be there. But if for easier access, just go to the Paramount.store and get your supplements there. I am a supplement company owner. I have my own supplement company.
I'm making a lot of money.
I'm making a ton of bucks. I have my own supplement company.
But we do.
Shut up. All right, so let's get to the topic as I reignite.
Yeah, so I have a lot of different topics here, but I'm going to go into some world news because the title of this podcast, because we're going to be diving a little bit into, as you heard in the beginning clips, you know, the Pope and all that other stuff. The title I put up for this podcast is the apocalypse now? Right? Are we living through the apocalypse? And the reason I put that in is because a very scary bit of news came through stating that China is invading Taiwan.
Now let me ask you this. Why we're not hearing about this?
I don't know.
Don't you think that if this is happening, that the far left would be jumping on this like white on rice?
I don't know why this is kept quiet. So it says here, China invades Taiwan, Japan steps in.
Interesting. See this? I'm not privy to.
This is by the Telegraph, and this is on Yahoo News. It's saying the Japanese Air Force is getting ready for war with China, acquiring stealth fighters, buying up air-to-air missiles in large quantities, and is now sending its best planes and pilots to Guam for realistic training. Their arm, one of the biggest and most sophisticated in the Pacific region. isn't taking any chances as it prepares to clash with a much bigger Chinese Air Force.
Put a pin on that. I was discussing this with the Warlock, right? And we were toying around with the fact that Donald Trump is going now, as of recent, information that I have extracted and videos that I've seen, it's evident Donald Trump is going to want that third term. I think he's going for it.
Well,
could it be that war is what allows him to attain?
Oh, for sure.
That third term.
Oh, for sure. For sure.
And could it be that war is what allows him to usurp Canada? Could it be war?
For sure. I mean,
that allows him to take Greenland.
How else would they? I mean, through conquering, I guess, unless there's some kind of like.
So something's
leverage
brewing,
that we have.
Something is brewing, and we, as part of this report that you just put up, right? As a matter of fact, a year ago, almost to the date, we were discussing how Japan has taken the how you call that, not docile, but man, it escapes my mind. But
no, you need some brain boost.
Yeah, I do. No, but I'm looking for a word. The submissive. China has been, ever since the whole thing in World War II, right? They've taken like a submissive approach, where they're not concentrating on bolstering their air force, their military. But as of a year to a year and a half ago, it has been stated that Japan now is bolstering their navy, making new aircraft carriers and destroyers, more jets, and it looks like they're bolstering their military. Are they foreseeing that war is inevitable when it comes to China?
I guess so. And they know that we're their allies. So there's a lot of things going on with China.
So my question is, if this is happening, right, where China is either about to invade or doing maneuvers that indicate that an invasion already has happened, has the United States doing the same thing with Japan as they're doing with Ukraine, some kind of proxy war where the Americans are under the table giving them
maybe
some equipment and say, look, if you see these people get out of line, do this. We got your back.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt it, because they have a lot of interest in Taiwan. That's their stronghold. They need their factories up and running before anything happens with Taiwan. And I have this article here going further into it. So it says here how China's military is quietly gaining control of the Pacific, which is why Japan wants to get involved here. It says China has quietly extended its military reach far across the Pacific by building dozens of ports airports, and communications projects at key points in a vast region that could shut out the United States and its allies in the event of a war. It says the projects appeared civilian in nature, but were in reality strategic nodes stretching about 3,000 miles from Papua New Guinea, immediately north of the U.S. ally Australia, to Samoa, which lies about 40 miles away from U.S. territory of American Samoa and Polynesia. According to the new study made available exclusively to Newsweek, the remote scattered islands of the Pacific were once crucial to the American war-fighting strategy in World War II, and they could play a role in the next global conflict too. So something is brewing.
Could you do me a favor? Can you just slide your laptop ever so slightly to your...
okay.
This way?
Yeah. Sure.
Yeah, right there. Perfect. So that people can see your face.
Oh, okay. So then there's that. And then you also have the trade war going on with China that we're dealing with right now. And then
I got balls of these people.
Right. And then you have, so here's another article. Trump says he's preparing for war. So he's prepping for war with China as he angers Xi Jinping. President Donald Trump gave another justification for his tariff hikes, saying products...
Now, this article is through MSN, right? Well, what publication is this?
This is actually the Daily Mail.
Oh, the Daily Mail. Reputable...
Right. So it says here, President Donald Trump gave another justification for his tariff hikes, saying products need to be made in the U.S. in case the country goes to war. We're going to have our drugs made in the United States so that in case of war, in case of whatever, we're not relying on China and various other countries, which is not a good idea. Which makes sense. If we're about to prepare for war, you don't want all of our infrastructure to be in the country that you're about to go into war with. It says here, Trump has sparked fears of recession with a crackdown on foreign imports as part of his campaign to products made in America, arguing he wants to support and ramp up manufacturing in this country. And as Trump left open the possibility of more tariffs to come, Chinese President Xi Jinping in Vietnam as part of a Southeast Asia tour had his own words of warning. There are no winners in a trade war or a tariff war, Xi wrote in an editorial jointly published in Vietnamese and Chinese. Our two countries should resolutely safeguard the multilateral trading system, stable global industrial and supply chains, and open and cooperative international environment. Well, it says here, trade war and tariff war will produce no winners, and protectionism will lead nowhere, he added. So that's a very interesting perspective. I don't know if things are brewing up with China. So I have another interesting aspect here as well.
Let me ask this question to you now that we're on China, right? And this is a very interesting dilemma. Okay, Trump is our president, right? We chose him as a country with a mandate,
right?
Which means we overwhelmingly chose him because of his policies,
right?
One of his policies was bring back industry, manufacturers,
right? Make America great again,
right? To the way it was, the way it was in the
in its heyday after World War II.
Right, we were manufacturing good products.
Right.
And we were not
we're being innovative.
And and there was a lot of jobs available.
Right.
Okay. This mandate has provoked and ensued these tariff war, right? Through this and through other investigations from the administration, we have found out that China has infiltrated the America with precincts and young Chinese Americans coming through the border and virtually spying on us on American soil.
Right.
We found out that they were taking hold of the Panama Canal. Right? We found out that it was not an even trade deal. You know, we had to pay, but they didn't.
Right.
Right? So, initially, while the prior administration was allowing this infection that the Chinese has spread, and speaking of infections, they also brought upon the cuckoo, which the far left media said, no, that's all conspiracies. No.
And
now it's come to light that the cuckoo was brought on by the Wuhan labs.
Tú le dijiste al cuco que me va a entrar galleta. Eso es mentira, eso fue relajando que yo lo dije. Ahora es mentira. Después que yo vi el video que tú hiciste. Ok, saco de papa, sí, ven, haz lo que tú quieras. Que haga lo que yo quiera. Te voy a tirar para el agua de fuego. Tú le dijiste al cuco.
So, this is what this administration has brought to light. But now let's go to a hypothetical. Because it looks like war is imminent. Right? What do you think the alternative would have been? And what would Kamala, or whatever she likes to be called?
Oh, I mean, that would have been...
What do you think would the American people... Because if you look at the polls, which I'm not a big poll guy, the polls are saying that favorability for President Trump is slipping. You know, he went from like I think it was a 50 to 55% approval. He has slipped 10 points. Now he's at like 45.
The typical approval rating.
Because of this tariff thing. Now, if the alternative would have won, which would be, oh wow, those 15 minutes go by fast.
Yes, they do.
The alternative would have been Kamala. Would we be more in danger of the imminent war that secretly China has been positioning itself for? Or would that alternate administration, if that would have been the party that prevailed, would they have bettered the situation, or we would have let them continue the infiltration, and maybe the war that we all dread will not happen sooner but later? But Trump now is making it, how do I say it? If the alternate administration would have been later than sooner, is Trump doing it sooner than later? But at the very end of both alternatives, war is the end result.
I think so. Because
if that made any sense.
Well, yeah. So you're saying on the one hand, if Donald Trump gets into power, you can see that he's already footing for war. What would happen if the Democrats went into power? Would they still have positioned themselves for war?
But prolonging
this dance. So yeah, because they were having their hands in the Democratic Party.
Right. That's like how do I say this? Like
I think they would have started the war regardless.
You know, that's like, you know, when you have a punctured tire, right? You just put a patch on it, and then you get another nail, you put another patch on it, and then after the third nail, you're like, damn. But eventually what's going to happen is a nail is going to hit the wall of the tire. You got to replace that bitch.
Right.
So Trump is saying, oh, we got a nail in the tire? Let's just get a new freaking tire.
Right.
Which initially, in my opinion, is the best way to go.
Right. But it's the most costly, right? Because as a patch is much more cost effective. And that's what these people are being so used to. Like patching. So these tariffs are more costly because
it's a difficult situation.
Right, because, you know, at some point we're going to have to
address the issue at one point.
Right.
That's like if
like what you said. Does a doctor say, oh, you're going to get this surgery, this hip replacement, and you're going to spring out of bed? No. But you're gonna get this hip replacement. It's gonna hurt. It's gonna be painful. It's gonna take months of rehab. But once you get back in the swing of things, it's gonna feel so much better.
Or you go to the mechanic and saying, every time I'm at high speeds, there's a woo 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 on my tire. The guy says, well, I think those are your bearings. But how long can I drive on it? Well, I mean, you can drive on it, but eventually that tires, that part of the car is going to seize, and it could be on the highway or it could be on the driveway. But if it's on the highway, it's going to be catastrophic.
Right.
So it's up to you. Either you fix the woo 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 now and have a peace of mind, or you let it go and, you know, roll the dice. So I think that the Democrats were like patching. But I also think that the patching, you know, putting a patch on that tire means instead of buying that new tire, you put a patch on it, make it seem like it's a new tire, and then you can pocket that little extra change that you're telling the people we're getting a new tire, but in reality you're just putting a patch on it and you're bolstering your pockets with it.
Well, it's funny that you are questioning everything, and I had a question to Grok earlier, and you know, I was wondering, is this a real democracy or a monarchy? Right? Is the United States really a democracy, or is it an illusion of democracy? Right? Now, the reason I got into this point, and I'll be really quick because we got to go to the next clip, is there was an interview.
5 minutes on the clock.
There was an interview that I saw with Patrick Bet-David, and he had this journalist that a citizen journalist, not from any like big news corporation. He just has a YouTube camera, and he goes out there and tries to report on the story. And one thing he was noticing is that in his perspective, the Democrats propped up Donald Trump because they wanted to go against him, because at the time they had Hillary Clinton, and they thought Hillary Clinton, she's a female president,
she was a shoo-in.
So let's prop up Donald Trump because nobody's going to vote for Donald Trump anyway in their mindset. Mm-hmm. But he upsets the order, right?
The apple card.
But did he? Right? Because here's the question. Because the claim that most U.S. presidents are related stems from a 2008 study by Burke's Peerage and Genealogical Research popularized by a 12-year-old girl.
And we had discussed this in prior podcasts.
Right. She traced 42 of 43 presidents up to Obama to a common ancestor, King John of England, a signer of the Magna Carta. This
Magna Carta is like the document of all time.
Right. So the exception was Martin Van Buren, who had a Dutch ancestry, and this includes Donald Trump, linked through his mother's Scottish lineage to the House of Stuart and other European royals. Right? So
that's fascinating. It's like I'm amazed by these studies because you could find the most mundane details on anything.
Right. But you sample, you take a massive hand and just swipe, the country and just grab a handful of people, right? You pick any of the genealogy, none of them are going to be from the same lineage whatsoever. Right. But the presidents are all related. Something is a little up here. Something's up.
And
something's up.
It can't be pure coincidence.
So, I mean, you have the gerrymandering and all these things, and Trump is saying, hey, we're stolen, but everyone's saying that we do this every election, and there's some, the hanging chads and everything else. I don't know. Like you said, maybe it was inevitable. Regardless of who wins the election, they wanted war. Regardless of who, but I think if the Democrats were in power, I think they would have better opportune time to create a war because they have people inside infiltrated, so they could just do it now, right? And then what else? Like they have people from the inside, people coming in from the outside. We'll be dead ducks. The citizens will be dead ducks. We're gonna have to conform to the Chinese way. What are we gonna do? Fight? Not many of us own guns, and the ones that do, they're in the middle of the country.
You are bringing up a topic that.
So, but, at least with Donald Trump here, right, there's a little bit of pushback. So we can breathe a little bit easier because now, if they were to do it now, they don't have the White House in their favor. So now they have to, now there's a little bit of more of a battle here. Because
we got, these minutes go by fast.
But you see my train of thought.
Quickly, this has never happened. The only taste of what I'm about to say happened in Pearl Harbor, right? When the Japanese did that kamikaze style attack in Hawaii, right? Do you think that a foreign country, be it Russia, be it China, whoever it is, a mega power, invades our shores on multiple fronts,
right?
Which means they attack the West Coast and they attack the East Coast in a joint attack, right? Are we as a nation, are we going to be the ones that say as a nation, how dare they? And being that they have weapons on hand.
Oh, don't wake up the American inside most people. When 9/11 happened, everyone was willing to grab weapons.
9/11, okay, 9/11 happened. But there's been a lot of changes.
Yeah, there has been a lot of changes.
That has happened since 9/11.
Right.
I believe 9/11 really, in a strange way, united us. But beyond that, after that, post 9/11, there's been some kind of animosity, and patriotism has really taken a hit.
Oh yeah.
So if
they relate patriotism to Nazism, or patriotism
it's
to
so
nationalism.
bad that some people think like I'm one of those that if I had the money, right, I'll have a big flagpole in front of my house. But some people think that's a little like off. You're gonna have flags, in front of your house, like
yes.
Some people look at it like that's not the you're projecting
that we love America.
Yeah, you're kind of like on the far right if you do that.
Oh boy,
I've heard that many times.
No, I've heard that, but it's like it's a stupid thing.
It's
regardless of you could be on every section of the scale. That flag still represents you.
Exactly.
If you're on the furthest right or the furthest left, you get to have that opinion here.
Now,
go have that opinion somewhere else.
The reason I bring that up is I'm bringing up this scenario. God forbid, really, God forbid, because this has never happened on American soil, that we get an invasion. Would these far left people be like, you know what, we deserve it? And we've created a lot of enemies throughout the years. And it harkens back to that movie that Obama and Michelle.
Leave the World Behind.
Leave the World Behind, where Kevin Bacon says, you know how many enemies we've created over the years?
Right. So that's my biggest fear is that it's not going to be one country. I mean, I don't want to give anybody ideas here, but I mean, the nightmare scenario, like you said, Pearl Harbor was the last time, or 9/11 was like the last time you ever felt something like that, detrimental attack here on the U.S. soil. But if you could imagine
these attacks like Pearl Harbor, 9/11, in my opinion, have been soft attacks. But imagine troops on both coast, West and West Coast. I don't know how they would do this, and if they would do this.
West and West Coast?
West and East Coast. I don't know how they would do this without being detected. And quite frankly, it might not happen because of technology. What might happen is a drone coming in from both sides, which leads to me that Donald Trump's thinking of this what do they call that thing in
the Iron Dome?
The Iron Dome. I think we need that.
The Platinum Dome.
Sooner than later.
Yeah.
Because I think, this is me just saying, this is imminent.
Well, here's my nightmare scenario. I'm not giving anybody any ideas. But my nightmare scenario is if you have people from Hamas, the Houthis, all these, Al Qaeda, and all these terrorist organizations come here, migrate in here as cells, right? Waiting for instruction, right? So that they can conduct a terrorist plot, just like 9/11. right? They do a terrorist plot. Then you have China and Russia on either side, come in with their military might.
And let me add to that.
What are we gonna?
What if we are turning a blind eye to a major problem that we're having now, which are these Tren de Aragua, MS-13, right? And somehow our enemy supplies them,
right,
with weapons. They're already in here,
right?
I mean, I remember a guy who succeeded like that, which is the Castro. Rebels were supplied.
That's a nightmare scenario. Like, you have a terrorist plot go off, and then you have Russia and China, two huge superpowers on either end looking to attack. I mean, the shit show of what happened.
Ducks.
The shit show of what happened in 9/11. We didn't know what was going on, and that was 9/11. If they do that on top of military, I mean, I don't think we'll get to the nukes fast enough.
Wow, that is a nightmare scenario. Not only do you have, because this is the thing that gave me fear in my heart watching Leave the World Behind. Kevin Bacon's statement. We have a lot of enemies around the world, and we kind of like caused the hatred around the world. And if all these factions, the communists, the gangbangers, the religious terrorists, all come together in some weird, like that movie The Warriors, come together, and you have a leader that's bringing all these factions against the United States, we're in trouble.
Right.
We're in trouble. And I've had nightmares on this particular scenario. So the reason I'm bringing this up, that I think, you might not like Donald Trump, but at least he's addressing a major issue. Would the alternative have addressed that issue? Or we would just allow them. And I think also this is something, the freight, like, the Warlock says something that the train has left the station. And I think the people at the helm is this infamous people that Alex Jones is always mentioning, which is that deep state, the powers that be. They want war. Control from chaos.
Right.
The deal. But
it's time for the next.
So now we'll leave a pin on that, and if anybody wants to continue this conversation, please reach out to us on our link tree at the Paranormal.
It's amazing how much time has just flown by.
Yeah, it's quick. It goes by quick.
So it's time for the second round of the AM PM game show.
Okay, let me set the timer so we don't lose track.
All right. So do you have a clip?
Let's go. Let's see what I got for you. You had a hard one, I'll tell you that much. Let's see what I got for you. All right. All right, I'll do this little cute one. Ready?
Yeah.
为什么要打脚呢？我总要你训完不了牌，怎么那么坏了呢？这咋回事？
All right, so what's going on? So I gather it's a guy driving around and somebody's in the back seat going and wow, your pineal gland is functioning very well. Your remote viewing, I hope you're not looking at me through the glasses. Oh no. So I figure somebody from the back seat, when he hits the turn signal, so you hear the sound go up, and then the guy in the back goes going, keeping it going. So he goes to the back. He goes to check out this is what I'm viewing. He goes to the back of the car. He's smacking it on the side. He's like, what's going on? He goes back into the car. And then he discovers that it was his friend. Is that your final answer? That's my final answer. All right. So if you go to the Trello. Let's see. And his turn signal. Turn signal. Here we go. All right, let's see. Here we go. Oh, he went to the front of the car. But damn, I was close. Your remote viewing. It's not a perfect sign. No. I don't know what I'm seeing when I say it, but well, give yourself a ding. Okay, so I'm up 2-0. 2-0. All right, so that means I got to choose a next story. So I got actually a good one here. So, would you prefer astro news? Some stuff going on astrology-wise, some like science stuff, or would you prefer more UFO type news? Okay, but we don't have much time. Just before you start the report, let's start it off with some levity. All right? What do you mean? Go to the Trello. All right, this is a quick little. I want to add quick little sections of levity. And we call it WTF. Okay. What the? Okay. And hit Dr. Pepper, and then after that we'll go into your next report. All right. Let's see. Why? Okay. Oh, there we go. Oh, that's good. Hey. No, you had to go back. Go back. Oh. One more time. Hold on, folks. So he's snoring here in the background.
That's good. Hey, what's that? That Dr. Pepper? That's that Dr. Pepper.
To you by Paramount Supplements at the Paramount.store.
Reignite your play.
Yeah. Is that Dr. Pepper?
All right. Well, we're not going to get to everything, obviously, so I got to throw one back at you.
Oh, here we go.
All right. Very similar. It's literally almost the same thing, but in a different way. So this is weight loss surgery gone wrong. Let's see here. Hold on. There we go. Let's see. Hold on.
Put your anesthesia to put you to sleep for your surgery. Okay. Let me see your hand. Okay.
Oh, I was kicking in already, hecka fast.
Yeah, just go ahead and put your head back. You should be asleep any second now and be ready for your sex change surgery.
I'm not here for no sex change surgery. I'm here for a weight loss surgery. No, wait. Wait, no.
I'm still here. I'm here to put your anesthesia.
He's fighting that like, no. All right. Is that Dr. Pepper? All right, let's dig into our next topic.
Yeah, so do you want more Astro or more UFO?
Let's go UFO. Let's see what you got.
All right, so in the UFO, so I'm going to bring this topic. So there was a new whistleblower coming to light here. So let me just put this up on screen. So Skywatcher video of summoned UFO coming soon. It says here, a private group known as Skywatcher. I'll put this up on screen here. Yeah, So it says here, a private group known as Skywatcher may soon release new video of UFOs. It has been able to summon through electronic signals. Investigative journalist Ross Coulthart says.
Now, where are you getting this report from? We're not seeing it on screen.
Oh, you're not seeing it? Oh, hold on. It's coming from News Nation. So this is News Nation's report here. And it says here, the organization founded by UFO whistleblower Jake Barber claims it has been able to at least partly replicate the process it believes the U.S. government has used to attract non-human technology to Earth. It says here, Skywatcher has a secret location known as the Range, where it uses signaling system that Coulthart describes as an electromechanical dog whistle. Skywatcher video shows a range of UFOs that have been coaxed. Ross Coulthart, it says here, they say every time they use their dog whistle, it's worked 100%.
Oh, wow.
Of the time in summoning the phenomenon. Coulthart says he understands Skywatcher will release a video within a day that purportedly shows a range of UFOs the organization has been able to coax. So they're going to post a video, and we should be looking out for that video. It says here, Barber, the organization's founder, is a former Air Force airman and a federal contractor. He said he flew helicopters during secret government missions to retrieve what they may have been alien technology. In one instance, he said he transported a white egg-shaped object the size of an SUV. On another occasion, Barber said he observed a flying disc with 8 discernible edges, something he referred to as an 8-gon. So, and then, let's see, I think we have a little clip here that we can play to people. Let's see here. Of course, they got the little adverts. But there is a little clip here. So, yeah, there's a new video of UFOs that should be coming out soon. Very, very interesting. Let's see if what they say here.
Hard Air Force veteran and Skywatcher founder Jake Barber just revealed that the Pentagon's All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, known as AARO, has been to the range to observe UFO scientific testing.
I really do hope that we can have a more functional and opening relationship with them. We are in communication with them. They have been on the range in the past.
The Defense Department working side by side with Barber's team at where Skywatcher conducts its UAP tracking operations. Barber claims that when Skywatcher works at that classified location, his team gets results 100% of the time. What does this all mean? For more, we are joined by Ross Coulthard, investigative reporter, News Nation special correspondent, and host of the Reality Check podcast. Good to see you, Ross.
Good evening, Natasha.
So Barber indicated that the Pentagon's AARO office has an interest in UAP observations, sometimes referred to as summonings. What is the extent of the Pentagon's involvement with Skywatcher?
Look, all we know at the moment is that the AARO, the All-Domain Anomaly Resolution Office, which is the Pentagon's UFO investigation office, has visited the range, which is a secret location where Skywatcher, a private equity group investigating the possibility of inviting or summoning non-human intelligence technology craft, is actually conducting its operations. And so Mr. Barber, in an interview that he recorded with Reality Check last week, has basically admitted that,
I don't know,
for the first time, the Pentagon is taking a close interest in this private initiative. He's at pains to emphasize that what they're doing at Skywatcher is not under Pentagon or Defense Department control or Intelligence Department control in any way, but it is very important. It actually signals, I think, a refreshing new change in the way that the Pentagon's approaching this issue. Maybe it sees the inevitability of what Skywatcher is hoping to achieve.
Do you think they will continue this level of involvement with Skywatcher, given that Barber has been so open, so transparent about speaking with you and letting the public behind the scenes?
Well, it's quite funny, you know, Natasha, because we've got an official Pentagon position at the moment, publicly, that there is no evidence of any kind of extraterrestrial engagement with this planet. Yet, at the same time, we know that there are very high-level consultations between the Pentagon's UAP office and organizations like Skywatcher, contrary to what the Pentagon and the intelligence community is telling the Congress and the public. There is a high degree of engagement and interest in the UAP issue.
So what do you think about this?
It's an interesting article or report, because I believe Stephen Greer he stated very often that he has a way, but he does it by way of consciousness,
right,
on how to summon these UFOs. I mean, I have a little clip on the Trello on that.
Showing how do they summon UFOs?
Yeah, it's show number 125, UFO dog whistle.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Yeah.
So let's see here. Show number 125, UFO dog whistle. So we're on the same plane when looking up into the show. Oh, okay, here we go. Wow.
Just like that.
So here we go.
Hey there, fella.
We can't see it.
Did I summon thee? I was kidding. Maybe. Ding. Okay. Kind of moving a little uniquely. Giving me a little dance like the other. No. Hold on. Can I set you down? Welcome to Kingsville, friendo.
Okay, now let me see something.
Let us try once more. Oh, just kind of.
What does this remind you of?
Hey there, feller.
I mean, I've seen things like this multiple times.
Remember what I told you about a month ago, a few months ago?
Okay. Kind of moving on.
What I witnessed in the sky?
Oh, like you said, it was like a constellation, like you had like even I think you even shared an image on that, if I'm not mistaken.
No, I didn't share an image. What I had, I don't know if you.
Or your recreation or something like that. Am I you have had a lot of different stellar views.
What I saw was, usually when I come home after a night of ride sharing, the skies from let's say 3:30 in the morning right up until dawn, they always have something peculiar going on in the sky. 9 out of the 10 times I've seen satellites. Like I told you, one time I saw a string of satellites and I started counting.
Right.
1, 2, 3. They were like on a carousel. And I have this app called Stellarium. And when you point it up to the sky, it's on my phone. When you point up, and by the way, folks, if you guys want to have some fun with the skies, there are various apps, either through the Apple Store or through the Google Play Store, that you can download these apps that help you view the skies. The one I prefer is called Stellarium. It's free. There's no charge for it. So the way it works is you point the phone up to the sky, and it tells you to do a maneuver to calibrate the phone. And it tells you the constellations that you're looking at. It'll tell you where the planets are. And it'll tell you what are satellites.
Right.
And you'll see like a little satellite image going through, and it matches what you're seeing up top.
Right.
So on the day that I saw the carousel, I saw that they were satellites.
Okay.
And it looks like this might have been Starlink. Because it was like it was like 1, 2, 3, and I counted up to 30 satellites.
Okay.
And again, perfect time for this is from 3:30 to 4, right up until dawn. But there was one day that I saw something that I've never seen before. Remember I told you it was like looking at billiard balls. They went like,
oh yeah, that's right, yeah.
I'm like, yo, what the hell is that? I quickly put up my Stellarium app, and it shows that it was satellites. But what I found unique on this particular time is it looked like they were bouncing off each other, like almost like billiard balls. I don't know if that was an optical illusion, but to see a satellite go this way and looking like it strikes another one and then it go a different direction.
That's very weird.
And this is what that video kind of reminded me of.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, it's very, very interesting. There's a lot of UFO news going on. So I'm very curious to see, And
again, people, a lot of UFO nuts have said 2025 is the year when they're going to pull the veil and we're going to find out. It's going to be like a revelation that, yes, we are being visited, we have been visited, and that they're here. Take that with a grain of salt. I'm of the camp that they've been here before us, they coexist with us, and they're still coming. So everybody has a different way of looking at it. I believe that they're here. I've seen so many strange things in the sky. Again, I saw what I thought was a huge UFO. And maybe if I had... The problem is, and maybe people can help me out with this issue. I see a lot of strange things in the sky. But my phone is just not strong enough to video this thing. I don't know how they get these videos. I don't know if the Apple iPhone is the way to go to see these anomalies. Or is there like a camera?
Which phone do you have?
It's the Chipiton 3501.
Oh, you got the 3501.
The Chipiton. The Chippy.
I heard Trump banned the Chipiton.
I have what is called...
There's a massive tariff on the Chipiton.
The Chipiton. No, this is the Revell. I think it's a T-Mobile Revell or...
Revel?
The Revel, yeah. The Revel Pro...
Oh, okay, that's what you have right now.
Yeah.
I thought you had a Samsung.
No, I used to have a Samsung. It went kaput.
So you got a Revel.
Yeah, who makes the Revel again? It's
good question. I don't know offhand. Let's see. Maybe it is Revel. Let's see. T-Mobile Revel 7.
Yeah, I got the...
So it's T-Mobile.
Yeah, I got the T-Mobile Revel 7 Pro. It works fantastic, knock on wood. Because I had the Galaxy Note 4.
Okay.
No, I'm sorry, Galaxy Note 9. And it worked until it didn't work because of the uploads. And it was rendered obsolete for what I needed it for, because I do ride sharing. My apps were not operating optimally, so I had to switch up to a higher grade when it comes to the operating system. And the only one I could afford was the Chipiton Revel 7 Pro.
Okay,
but the camera is not so hot.
So, I mean, if you had a Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra, you would have had a higher
resolution when it comes to the sky.
So it says here, let me find it here. So, it's going through it. So you basically, your front camera doesn't really show how much, but it says here on the Samsung is 12 megapixels on the front camera. On the back camera, it's a quad lens, 50 megapixel main sensor, while the Samsung Galaxy S24 Ultra has a 200 megapixel wide, 12 megapixel ultra wide, and 50 megapixel periscope with a 10 megapixel telephoto. So it has like a bunch of different cameras.
Okay, so just humor me. Look for the Chipiton Revel.
Yeah, I have it here. I'm looking at it side by side. The Revel 7 Pro 5G. I'm seeing the stats side by side here, and we put this up on the screen. So yeah, The storage space, you have a terabyte on the Galaxy. But in terms of like your cameras, right, you have a quad lens, 50 megapixel main sensor. Well, this one has a 200 megapixel wide, a 12 megapixel ultra wide, a 50 megapixel periscope with 5x zoom.
Oh, that is far superior.
And a 10 megapixel telephoto 3x.
Okay, so it's my cheapitón.
Yeah. Well, maybe, yeah. But even still, even with all that, you know,
I'm hoping that in the near future, maybe I can get a camera, an actual physical camera, where maybe through an SD card, with an SD card, I can actually have good view of the sky and record it, you know, with better way to look at these things. So the phone doesn't, all it shows is like,
yeah, what you need is
white noise,
a massive lens, right? You see like those cameras with like a huge lens, because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the bigger the lens, the better it lets in light. And then the clearer you can see the sky, the night sky. Let me just quickly ask Gemini. For those that are sky watcher enthusiasts, I'll ask for them. What kind of lens is best to take video of the night? So it's best to get, let's see, a wide aperture, or even wider, crucial for letting in as much light as possible. Stars are faint, so a wider aperture would allow your camera to capture more of their light, resulting in brighter, clearer footage. Wide angle focal lens, a good low light performance. Prime lenses, it says here, fixed focal lens often have wider maximum apertures. Fixed focal, so meaning you can't zoom in and zoom out. It's just a fixed focal length. Good balance between wide angle and minimal distortion. Yeah, so zoom lenses, while typically not as fast as prime lenses, some wide-angle zoom lenses offer good performance and versatility. So yeah, you're gonna need like a really good DSLR camera and point it at the sky. Yeah, but that's gonna cost some money. But with that being said, now it's time for
my cheapitoni.
So you went last, right? That was you went in the last round, so now it's my go again.
And that concludes our UFO segment of the show.
That's right. So now it's time for another round here of AM PM.
Don't stop, I want to believe I'll take it away.
Okay. Ooh, what was that? Oh boy. All right. Are you alright over there?
Anywho, that concludes our UFO part of the show. So let's continue with the AM PM game show. You're bringing I'm spreading hateful rhetoric against a class of people. Believe me, I'm not. Believe me.
All right, so what is going on in this clip?
All right, so here we go.
All right, let's see.
Got my theater of the mind.
All right, mommy, get off, chill.
No, mommy, you wildin', mommy.
Nah, she got rolling.
She got there for you, mommy. I'm trying to. She got rolling. I'm gonna go for you, mommy. I'm trying to.
Alright, mommy, get off, chill.
No, mommy, you wildin', mommy.
Nah, she got rolling.
She got there for you, mommy.
What is going on in this clip?
Here we go. Hit it one more time.
All right.
She got rolling. I'm gonna go for you, mommy. I'm trying to.
Alright, mommy, get off, chill.
No, mommy, you wildin', mommy.
Nah, she got rolling.
She got there for you, mommy. I'm trying to. She got rolling. I'm gonna go for you, mommy. I'm trying to.
Alright, mommy, get off, chill.
What do you think is going on? Nah, she got rolling. It looks like they might be either going down a hill, and either this girl has rollerblades on and she's hooked on to something, and they're like, yo, let it go. And she doesn't let it go. It's like either they're on some kind of vehicle, and she's grabbing the vehicle to go with them. At the same time, I'm also seeing like one of these playground things that go circle like this, and maybe she's hanging on this thing and spinning with it, and maybe she has like either a bicycle or rollerblades, but she's hanging on to something.
Okay, she's hanging on to something,
either a motorcycle or a car that's going down the hill. Something's going on that she's latched onto, and that's my final answer.
So it's a woman latched onto something.
Right, like to a vehicle that's rolling down a hill or a motorcycle or something, but she's holding on to something. And they're saying, yo, let it go.
Okay. All right.
Is that too ambiguous?
No, I think that I don't know if you're listening and you feel like that's too ambiguous, then put some thumbs down in the chat. But I don't know. I think that was so. Your final answer is a woman holding on to something.
Yes,
a vehicle of sorts.
Right. Either they're rolling down a hill, or it's
like she's like. Rollerblading or
right, like like back in the day I used to do it, like when it was snowing, I would latch onto the bumper of a bus, and I would let the bus
what you call it, Back to the Future.
Yes.
Okay. All right, so is that what you think is going on?
Yes, that's what my remote viewing is. The picture I'm getting from the audio.
Okay, so here we go. You ready for this?
I'm ready.
All right. Now I'm going to preface this with, this is another example of you were having a good day.
Oh, no.
What the hell happens in New York City? I don't understand. But let's see. So here we go. What is going on in this clip?
She got there for you, mommy. I'm trying to. She got rolling. I'm gonna go for you, mommy. I'm trying to.
Alright, mommy, get off, Get off, chill.
No, mommy, you wildin', mommy.
Nah, she got rolling. She got
for you, mommy. I'm
So I
had it.
Yeah, you had it. You definitely got it. So what is going on in this clip?
for you, mommy. I'm
Alright, mommy, get off, chill.
No, mommy, you wildin', mommy.
Nah, she got rolling. She got
for you, mommy. I'm
All right. Before I tell you what's going on in this video, I got a quick story.
Pattern supplements reignite your play.
In my younger days, right? I've always been a guy since I was very young looking for a deal. A chipitone, like I got the chipitone phone. Not because I'm cheap, it's because my finances direct me in such directions. Right? So one time we were in Midtown Manhattan, actually, correction, I was down by Canal Street, right? With my buddies. One of my buddies sees, a shasty guy, like, with a package, like, and my friend goes, yo, what the hell is this guy doing? Like, is he selling something? And he goes over. Now, this is in the 80s when the big thing was a camcorder.
Right.
Little did we know that everybody was going to have a camcorder in their pockets.
Right. Who would have thought?
Who would have thought? So when we approached this guy, he's like, shh. Yo, shh. I'm selling this camcorder, but... And my friend goes, for how much? He's like, give me $50. Back then, a camcorder cost hundreds of dollars.
Right.
He's like, just give me. This is high. I just lifted this shit, like, But he goes, but how much? He's shh. Gotta go over here, like. And the guy, my best friend, well, not my best friend, one of my friends, looks at the thing. He's like, I'll give you 40. He's like, nah, man, nah. Make a long story short, my friend plunks down some money. He buys the box. We're all excited about what we're gonna do with this camcorder. We used to love documenting stuff, and we already have
a pipe dream.
We already have the day planned. We're gonna spend the whole day videotaping each other, skits or whatever. And he goes, don't open it here. You don't blow my cover because I got a couple more that I gotta get. We're like, all right, yeah, it's fine. The box looks legit. So we get in the car, a couple of blocks.
Sold the bill of goods.
We open the box. We notice as we're opening it, what he did was he took a flyer that had a special and it had pictures of the camcorder. He made a terrific job. He covered the box in some kind of white material. Then he stuck on the images of the camcorder on the box. So when we opened it and we finally get into the box, 2 bricks inside.
Wow, sold a bill of goods.
So we hatched a plan. We're gonna get this guy.
Okay.
We're going to get this guy. And we hatched this plan, and we said, we're going to lure this guy to our car. I'm driving. We're going to lure this guy to our car, and we're going to have him let us hold the box. The minute I hold the box, actually, the plan was for the passenger, the guy who got previously duped, right? He was going to ask to hold the box. And when he's got a firm hold of the box, I was going to gun the car and take the box from him. We knew it was bogus.
Right.
So we hatched the plan. We get to the guy, my friend, Ed, we call him Ed. And he says, yo, I want to buy the... He didn't even recognize us because we were on foot. The lap.
Oh, okay.
So now we're in my car. I had a Mitsubishi Tridia at the time.
Okay.
My friend Ed grabs the box. The guy's like, he let my friend hold the box, but he's also holding the box as well. You understand? And my friend Ed goes, gun it. I gun it. Freaking guy does exactly what that woman. I'm flying down the road with this guy hanging off the window. He's like, but he's not letting go of the box. And I'm like, yo, shake him off. We couldn't shake him off, right? We couldn't shake him off. And as memory serves me, we get to a light, and my friend Ed and the guy are struggling for the box. Light turns green, and I gun it. And the guy bounces off the car, and we get the box. And he's like, yeah, well, motherfucker. Obviously, he put his time into this box. He didn't want to let it go.
With 2 bricks.
But
he was selling it, I guess.
He was doing good business.
Selling
imagine
a pipe dream.
I imagine that it wasn't that he made the box. He probably has a boss who was making these boxes, gives it to the guy, and they split the differences. This is why he didn't want to let that box go. And yes, it had 2 bricks inside as well. So, just like that video.
And yet some people have a hard time selling internet to people.
So with that said, I think I can get a ding.
Yeah, you definitely do. So you get to choose the story. 2-1.
All right, so let's set the timer because we're at the end of the cast already.
Yeah,
unbelievable. Let's see. All right, here we go. I want to dive into, I don't know if we dived into this topic last podcast, but can you believe we have actually, remind me if we did this last podcast because then I'll change my topic. We have made a dire wolf.
So I don't know if we did or we didn't. I don't believe. I think we were going to get into that topic this cast. So yeah, so we've actually made a dire wolf.
Yeah,
that's right.
Yeah, no, we didn't discuss it. Bigfoot caught on camera. President.
I believe it had some. We were hinting about it. But yes,
Jurassic Park
exists. Yes.
They took the genome of a wolf and the DNA of a dire wolf, and they found this in like some, I believe it was a jawbone of a fossil of a dire wolf. They put the wolf DNA with the dire wolf DNA, and now we have what they call dire wolf puppies.
Right. So I'm looking up and they did an amazing. Have you seen the picture of them?
I've seen some pictures I've seen videos of the puppies.
Yeah, I've seen videos of the puppies. Okay, so they did a very interesting picture. Let's see if I can find it here. This one. This is the one. I found it. Beautiful image of the puppies. Let's see if I could pull it up here. There we go. There we go. Look at this. Dire wolf puppies. Look at that. Are you seeing it?
Let me see. Oh, wow.
On the Game of Thrones chair.
Wow, that is dope.
and apparently the guy who did them, he said that I forgot who it was, that did, was it who did Game of Thrones? Do you know the director?
No, off the top of my head, I don't know.
Well, the director happened to be in town with the throne, and the puppies were there, and it was like the stars aligned. He was like, the chair was only going to be there for a few hours. Coincidentally, was there at the same time that they were around, and it just happened to be like a perfect, a perfect scene that went perfectly.
Wow, that is amazing. If you go to the Trello, I put up a little video. It says Direwolves.
All right, let's see here.
Wow, that is amazing. So now, you know where I think we discussed this?
I think we hinted at it a little bit.
The woolly mammoth mice.
Right, the woolly mice, right.
The woolly mice. So now we got dire wolves.
Full-fledged dire wolves.
Which is like amazing.
So
totally amazing.
Let's put this up there. But they're bigger now.
They were gone for over 10,000 years, but now they walk among us again. Meet Romulus and Remusi, the first of their kind. Not just wolves, but the rebirth of a legend created by scientists at Colossal Biosciences. To bring back the mighty dire wolf, scientists reprogrammed prey wolf DNA, reshaping their size, their skull, and their strength to match the long-extinct predator that once ruled the Ice Age. But while they may look like dire wolves, some say they're not the real thing. Just hybrids, stitched from memory and science. Still watching them grow, move, live.
How big they've got.
You can't help but wonder.
That's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, and you know what? I was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast, and I was like, wow, everything that all the things that we predicted in movies not to do, right?
We do it.
We'll do it. Venturing into space, right? Commercialized space ventures.
Have you been to space? Have you been there?
That's always a disaster. Always a disaster, right? There's always some kind of weird alien creature that ruins the whole thing.
Right.
Or, AI and robots. Always is a disaster. There's never a happy ending.
The best example of that is Jurassic Park.
Jurassic Park.
Every single movie.
Always a disaster.
Disaster ensues. I even make a joke of it. Like, make a parody of Jurassic Park, right? Like a Naked Gun kind of a Jurassic Park. And the premise is, you make the park, right? People go see the dinosaurs. They have a fantastic time watching all these fossils come to life. And they go home happy.
I was, as you were saying that, I was thinking about that too. And it had like an element. Have you ever seen Hot Tub Time Machine?
Yes.
Where, the guy, he lost the arm, and they wanted to figure out how the hell that, right? So that would be the premise of the whole movie. How did this guy lose the arm? And then you see it revealed at the end, kind of a deal. But I don't know, like, I really do think that people out there are putting out material, like, Robert Rodriguez is saying, they're creating a body of work, and they're channeling this.
They're receiving the transmission.
Little do they know the the seeds that they're planting, the seeds that are bearing fruit. I mean, Terminator was completely sci-fi,
right?
And now people are like, this is seriously concerning. Or Jurassic Park, another one, completely sci-fi. So, or space traveling, for vacation, completely sci-fi. All these things are becoming UFOs, completely sci-fi, and all of a sudden things are.
It's a menu,
exactly,
to serve man.
To serve man, right?
So it's just amazing. And I always bring this up with the Warlock. Neil deGrasse Tyson said a statement that I still disagree with today. He said that I think it was a couple of years ago. And he said that why would aliens come to this planet? We being so boring of a species. Dude, that is such a false statement.
Beyond false.
We are fascinating creatures.
What
we do to each other.
If we find an amoeba somewhere on some planet, we're excited.
Right.
Oh my God, we found life.
Microbial life.
Life. Finally. I mean, it's not E.T., but it's something.
No, they can't even find a fossil of microbial, I don't know if I'm saying the word right, but life on a rock. Oh my God. And if aliens come to Earth and see what we are capable of, they must be like, yo, these dudes are batshit crazy.
Right.
Look what they have done. They've created a bomb that can obliterate, continents, just because they disagree.
Right.
Fascinating.
And I just, the way I look at it is, let's say, chimpanzees and gorillas start building ships and start, reaching other continents. Do you think we're gonna let that happen?
Absolutely not.
So that's what we look like to aliens. They're like, oh no, they're building rock. We gotta stop this. A reusable rocket? Oh no, we gotta stop this now.
These monkeys are nuts. But even then, Neil deGrasse Tyson says that we are boring, right? But yet, he's always going to this video where this crow looks at a bottle. It has water on the bottom, about an inch of water on this bottle. And the crow is like, he sticks his beak in, he can't reach it, right? So the crow resorts on picking up rocks, putting it inside the bottle, and
raising the water level.
Right. Until he raises the water level by using little pebbles of rocks. And then he's able to drink. And we're like, wow.
Right.
And we're boring?
And we're boring.
I mean, come on, dude.
Right. It reminds me of this little, my kids, they love this little storybook time. And it's about the planets. And Earth is like a little baby, right? Because it is in the solar system, right? So the Earth is asking the sun, and the sun is like telling it about fusion and all this. It's the brightest thing in our solar system. And then it starts talking to Jupiter and the strong winds, and Saturn and its wing and its rings, and Neptune on its side, and all these things. And then the Earth starts to feel like, damn, I'm not that special. But then they go to Earth and they're like, yeah, you got the one thing that none of us have. You're full of life. You know, that's huge.
Absolutely,
that's huge. That is everything. If we are actively looking for life and haven't found diddly squat, imagine what aliens are gonna think when they encounter us.
And this is the thing, like, how can we be boring?
Right.
And I'll give you an example. They tell, the leaders of this particular civilization, right? They tell you, if you have, I'll give you an example. If you steal, we're going to cut your head off by way of guillotine. If you're caught,
right,
and there's proof you stole, your head is going to the guillotine. Your body, they're taking you to the guillotine,
right,
and whoop off with your head. In the very beginning, you'll be like, nah, maybe they'll do it, maybe they won't. You steal anyway. They take you up to the gallows. They lop your head off. The people of this civilization sees, oh my God, if you steal, they cut your head off. But they still do it anyway.
Right. That's fascinating in and of itself.
Like, dude, you just saw what happened to this guy. But the human spirit always thinks they have a better plan. And despite their life at risk, they do it anyway.
Right.
Which is why, in my opinion, capital punishment don't work.
No, it does not.
It does not work.
It does not work at all.
And again, we're boring. You see the Challenger goes up, boom, it blows up. Everybody on board gone. You would think that would be the end of the space program.
No, but it's not.
It's not. Now you got people paying, supposedly, because with everything you got a little caveat with it. But we just saw 4 women.
Right.
They pay to get on board, to get on a slingshot up into the edge of space and come back down. You're actually strapping yourself to a missile.
Right.
And we're boring. So with that said, right on schedule.
So that means
my before we finish this topic, my question to you. Now they supposedly made a hybrid of dire wolves, right? And they're working on doing a hybrid of the woolly mammoth. And they're gun-ho for this thing. And if they haven't done it already, they're going to do it.
Okay.
What's your opinion? Are you for it or against it?
That's a great question. Am I for the Jurassic Park or am I don't know. To be honest, I feel like...
Is that like a perversion?
I feel like that's kind of like, stepping into God's wheelhouse.
God's territory.
Thinking that we could...
See, I struggle with that because I believe we're messing with powers that we do not understand.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
But the curiosity of it.
Well, that's the whole story of Jurassic Park. The curiosity of it. What are these things gonna... And then every time they try to control and tame these animals, they always break out of the encapsulation. They always... Everything goes awry. And then you have dinosaurs all over the place. And now we have to...
And creating havoc.
And
then the thing with Jurassic Park is they put a fail-safe system in these. But as Jeff Goldblum says...
Life finds a way.
Life finds a way.
So I mean,
by us creating the dire wolf and we creating the woolly mammoth, because we don't know, they look like docile. They're like big
elephants.
No, well, big elephants, yes, but hairy
elephants.
They look like, like the buffalo in the plain. They don't bother nobody. All they want to do is graze.
So we imagine them to be.
Yeah, but could these be these fierce freaking creatures that once you build two of these things, and somehow they start procreating? They could be these vicious creatures, and now we open Pandora's box.
Yeah. Or, diseases that, were left,
and that is another one.
Because a lot of sometimes diseases, like they say with El Cuco, it jumps from species. Things could jump, who knows?
And you're messing with things that, like, for example, I read an article on this guy who was curious about growing tobacco. He wanted to grow his own tobacco on his own property. So initially he could harvest it, dry the leaf up, ferment the leaf, make his own cigars, right? He's been on this property all his life. He never saw tobacco grubs, which are these grubs, like, remember in the one that Pumbaa eats? Yeah. They're like big ass worms. Never has he seen that on his property. He started growing tobacco on his property, and one of the main things that he had to struggle with were these tobacco grubs.
Wow.
Were eating the tobacco leaves, and he had to like create some kind of organic kind of pesticide so that he can have his plant grow, but again not affect the tobacco leaves. But they're there on the ground somehow, and oh snap, now this guy growing tobacco, here comes the tobacco grubs. So if we start messing with forces that we don't know, there's a reason they went extinct.
Exactly. So
I'm torn between the ethics of it
and the fascination
and the curiosity of it.
But the thing that really got me feeling like, what the hell, was listening to the Joe Rogan podcast. The guy who did this whole thing, that's his project, he said he created a beautiful like ranch for the wolves to, it's like, it's not even a zoo or a thing. It's like a massive open farm, like hundreds of acres, so that they can roam around. And he said the specific phrase, he spared no expense. And that really like gave me chills down my back.
Because what did the guy with the cane say?
We spared no expense. And that's how it starts.
Absolutely.
Before long, you will have the dinosaurs roaming around and pterodactyls and God knows what else.
If we haven't done that already.
Well, that's in the works.
Because maybe, what do you call this ranch?
All of a sudden, you're going to see a booming economy in Dominican Republic for those mosquitoes captive
in amber.
In amber.
But again, what is the name of that ranch in, I believe it's in Utah. Jeez, my memory.
Which one? With the UFO stuff?
Yeah.
Skinwalker?
Mm-hmm. They see all kinds of shit in this ranch. They've even seen pterodactyls in this ranch.
I mean, if they get Bigfoot, they resurrect, they make Bigfoot. I mean, what's to stop them? They make Bigfoot. They make them all.
So, I mean, could it be that we already have the island of Dr. Moreau? And that Skinwalker Ranch. Have you ever seen that movie, The Island of Dr. Moreau? It's with this guy. Again, man, I need some brain boost.
They're coming soon into the studio.
The guy who plays Superman, his father in the original.
Okay.
From Apocalypse Now, what's his name? Famous actor. He passed away a few years ago.
Oh, I'm not sure. What is it called? The Island of what?
Of Dr. Moreau. And he's the guy that they say that he had sex with another guy. And my brain is frozen.
H.G. Wells?
That's the creator of the story. Okay. But the actor's name is I'll get her for you right now.
Let's see. Marlon Brando?
Marlon Brando.
Please sit tight.
Marlon Brando. So, yeah.
And Val Kilmer as Montgomery? I have to see this.
Val Kilmer is in...
Yeah.
What?
Yeah. 1996, it says.
Oh, 1996? That's Superman what? What number is that?
So it says here are the main actors from...
Oh, from Dr. Moreau.
Right.
Yes, Val Kilmer is in that movie in the Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yeah, Val Kilmer.
Yeah. Horrible film. Horrible. If you guys want to lose 2 hours of your life, watch this movie.
Oh, man.
But the premise... The H.G. Wells premise, because I believe it was H.G. Wells.
Yeah.
Fascinating. And it all has to do with experimenting with hybridization. And maybe the Skinwalker Ranch is an actual island of Dr. Moreau where you got like some kooky harebrained scientist
doing all kinds of crazy shit.
all kinds of crazy shit, and we think it's UFOs, and there's actually this mad scientist, going to work.
Oh man! Well, with that being said, we're gonna skip over to "Are You Going to Hell?"
Okay, now it's my turn. Let's see what I have for you. Let me get the sound bites ready. Oh my God.
So the object of this is you're not supposed to laugh.
Not at all. Better not laugh.
Alrighty, so you got something?
Yes, I do.
You were very excited for this one.
Let's see. Okay, yeah, I got one. If you go to the Trello, and we get the Trello, go.
And this one we'll do a a showdown, where you throw one. If I laugh,
then I throw elimination.
Right.
Match.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay. So in the Trello, are you going to hell? Go with hijo de puta.
All right. So, and the object of this is you're not supposed to laugh. And the score, if you guys are keeping score here, it's 2-1 me and 2-1 me. So I got 2 and Anesto got 1.
Yes, you do. You're at the win.
So this is
you're ahead of on the points.
That's right. So this is going to be who determines.
It's like a lightning round.
Exactly. Who determines the winner here? So hijo de puta. Let's see.
All right. Get it all Man, I see that in my room at nighttime. I'll give birth. Nice spot.
Is that you? What's that Dr. Pell? That's that Dr. Pell.
Oh, that's you.
Oh, okay. They play multiple things more. That's interesting. Okay.
That's Dr. Pep. That's not fair. All right. I'm ready.
You ready? You can. You're not supposed to laugh. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Here we go. So, are you going to hell? Round 1.
All right. Here we go.
All right. You good? All right. Here we go.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, I'm ready.
You ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
You're gonna lose.
I can't. All right, here we go.
I'm not seeing. I'm not seeing anything.
Oh, you're not seeing anything? All right, here we go.
Play from the beginning. That's a nice cut he has right there.
Nice little bald
nice
cut.
Little baldy. Man, that shit look like a bird. It looks like your bird.
Oh, you almost had it too.
Well, you laughed too.
Yeah, so it's a stalemate.
It's a stalemate. Can you give me one more?
I got you.
Okay, go to the treble.
No, now it's my go. Now it's my go.
Since it was a stalemate, I wanted to.
Yeah, so now I throw one back.
Okay, here we go.
So, here we go. All right, here we go. See if you can see this. Let me make this. Okay.
Now,
I thought you were gonna get that one.
Can I make a comment?
Yeah.
All this brings to my head is wash your ass. Tell me what you wash with. Take a bath. Wash your ass.
The only thing that came to mind is boiling hot dog.
Man, that must have smelled horrible. Yeah, watch that. Watch that baby making, man. All right, let's continue the lightning round.
Okay, so
the score is what? Still 2-1.
2-1. We're still at a stalemate here.
Okay, go to the. Are you going to hell? Laughing technique.
All right, laughing technique. All right, here we go. All right, here we go.
Una técnica para reír. Póngale cuidado. ¿No es para volar?
A ver.
¿Ah?
A ver.
Pero no pongas esa cara de brava.
No, pero hágalo rapidito, a ver.
Bueno, una técnica, póngale cuidado. Vea.
¿Técnica para qué?
10 veces ja. Ya, entonces comenzamos. Ja.
Ja.
Ja, ja.
Ja, ja.
Ja, ja, ja.
Ja, ja, ja.
Ja, 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 ja.
Ja, 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 ja.
Ja, 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 ja.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 sí, qué cosa. Ay, no, pero me hizo reír.
So can you do it? Can you do it? Ha. Ha.
Mm-hmm.
Ha ha ha.
No, it's ha ha.
Okay, so ha.
Mm-hmm. Right.
You gotta say it.
Ha.
Ha ha ha.
No, it's ha. Ha ha.
All right, so ha.
Uh-huh.
Say
ha ha. Ha. Ha ha ha.
ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha 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 ha. Ha.
Ha 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 ha.
Ha ha. You got yourself.
Okay, so it's a stalemate.
Okay, so all right, let me get you one.
Like my grandfather used to say.
Let's see. All right, you can't laugh here.
All right, I won't.
Somebody's got a break. All right, here we go.
It's likely one of those international cities might. No! You scared the
If you're using US 31 southbound, your average speed.
Is that Bill Murray over there? Yeah, that's Bill Murray. We'll be back.
Burgemeester, wat is er nou zo bijzonder aan Zeelkampen?
Als je de mooiste...
Dave gave me a mug like this.
Good morning, John and Randy. I can tell you that I just learned that about 35 people from...
You'd be right to be skeptical. Thousands of additional
The 4 firefighters are hurt after a fire truck overturns on the highway this morning.
I almost jumped you there.
Sorry about that.
Okay, you can jump me anytime. Not that way. Not that way. You know what I meant.
They say, no matter what, just have fun, use your hands, and make sure you steer. Oh,
And it's likely one of those international cities might. No! You scared the
Another stalemate.
All right. Wow.
Wow.
Okay. So.
All right. $100 on the Trello.
All right.
Remember, you cannot laugh. No matter what.
Te doy $100 si te tiras un peo. El peo tiene que sonar.
buena, papi.
Te doy $100 si te tiras un peo. ¡Felicidades! Gracias. Si te tiras un peo, te regalo $100. ¿Lo tienes? ¿No lo tienes? Te lo ganaste. Va a salir en TikTok. Le regalo $100 si se tira un peo. Te lo ganaste. Te doy $100 si te tiras un peo.
Ahora.
Ten cuidado ahí, que no salga otra cosa. Te regalo $100 si te tiras un peo. No, toma. If you fart, I give you $100. Y el peo suena, te llevan los $100. ¿Tú tienes un peo?
A veces me tiro un peo en mi casa.
Si te tiras el peo, te doy los $100.
Espérate.
¿Tú lo tienes? Tiene que sonar. ¡Felicidades! ¿Ya lo tienes? Regalo $100 si se tira un peo. ¿No tiene? No. Te doy $100 si te tiras un peo. El peo tiene que sonar.
I think you got yourself on that one.
I got it. I lost that one.
All right, so
Either one.
All right, so final story of the cast. Let's see. Let's see. I had so many good ones.
Te doy un vaso de café si te tiro un peo.
Okay, let's go into some Astro news.
All right.
So,
for people that missed over the holidays, we had a beautiful pink full moon. Unfortunately for us, we weren't able to see it because of the weather. Even though your wife told me that from where you guys are living, there's a strange pink hue that happens over the sky.
Yeah, have you noticed it?
No, I've been looking for it.
Oh, you have to come by. No. I was going to say maybe today, but I forgot. We're a different day. I drive myself home now.
Right. How often do you see it?
Every night. It's like, you see right now, it's like the dead of night. Over there, it's like a nightclub. It's like Springfield downtown. It's like a nightclub. It's like you could see.
What color is it?
Like a sunset, like a pink hue. Just in that area. It's like right now is night. It is as night as it could be. I mean, it's 12 in the morning, right? But you will still see in the sky like as if it's about to be sunset.
What could be in that vicinity that's making that light?
That is what bugs us. That's what's like we don't know the answer to. But in this, so it says here, breakthrough gravity discovery challenges the existence of dark matter. In the vast universe, galaxies rotate in ways that don't make sense if only visible matter is considered. For almost a century, scientists have tried to explain this by searching for a hidden force called dark matter. It's been an idea so accepted that the entire models of the universe rely on it. But what if something else entirely was responsible for the mysterious pull that holds galaxies together? That's the question raised by Dr. Richard Liu, the University of Alabama in Huntsville. In the paper published in the monthly notices of Royal Astronomical Society, Liu offers a theory that could challenge one of the biggest assumptions in astrophysics. His idea, gravity can exist without any mass at all. It says here, the study explores a different solution to the same equations that normally describe gravity, both in Newtonian theory and in general relativity. These equations link mass with the gravitational force it creates. Liu focused on what is known as the Poisson equation, a simplified form of Einstein's field equations used for describing gravity in weaker fields.
Poisson.
Right. Like those around galaxies. This equation typically has one well-known solution, gravity that weakens with distance, created by mass. but there's another lesser-known solution that often ignored. It can also create an attractive force, but doesn't come from actual matter. Lou took the second solution seriously. My own inspiration came from the pursuit of another solution to the gravitational field equations of general relativity, he explains. He was motivated by the frustration of that idea of dark matter has lasted so long without direct evidence. So
this is going against the Newtonian.
Right. Well, that also goes right alongside with what's his name, Terrence Howard, where he claims that gravity as a force is not what we're thinking of it. It's electro or frequency that everything is like being spooled together,
being held together by a certain frequency.
And once you unlock whatever that frequency might be, you can unravel it and do anything. So
and pry yourself free,
right,
from this particular frequency, allowing whatever.
Oh, you can change anything. Like you can make in that model. You can turn water into wine.
Move rocks that are 100 tons.
Right.
Like what they did in the pyramids. And
you can create rocks from instead of having to levitate rocks, you can make it like in real time. Yeah.
And it's fascinating because the guy who created the Coral Castle, and I was there, and it's a fascinating thing to see. He had ordered a truck, a flatbed, to get a piece of coral. And when the truck came and they saw the piece of coral that this guy wanted to transport to his property, they told him, look, this thing is extremely heavy. If you wait until the next day, we'll bring a crane out here to see if we could try to pick it up and load it onto the flatbed. And the old man told them, no, it's not necessary. Just leave the flatbed here. When you come in the morning, I'll have it loaded on to the flatbed. They were like, how are you going to do that? He goes, don't worry about it. Just come pick it up. The next day. When the next day came, that piece of rock, of coral, was loaded on the flatbed.
Wow.
How did he do it? Nobody knows. Wow. But I tend to lean that maybe he, like I said before on the last podcast, he uses a type of frequency almost reminiscent to what the bumblebees use. Some kind of resonance
that allows them to levitate.
Yeah.
So there's that. And then another interesting story. It says here, dying stars, previously unseen layers visible in new NASA image. So it says here, spectacular images from NASA's James Webb Telescope gave astronomers a detailed, never-before-seen look at a dying star. This is actually one of two at the heart of NGC 1514, a nebula in the Taurus constellation about 1,500 light years from Earth. NASA said in its news release, it is a white dwarf star that was once several times more massive than Earth's sun. It has been in the process of dying for over 4,000 years and will continue to change over many more millennia.
Now that's fascinating. The amount of time that it takes for a star
to die. Now look at that.
Wow.
This is what the James Webb telescope is.
So this is the nebula.
Yes, this is the nebula.
And do they show where the white dwarf is, the dying star?
I believe it's the one in the center.
Because I also heard that they actually found a planet that is it seems very likely to have life.
So yeah, I have that here. So it says here, 4 tiny Earth-like planets found circling 2 closest star systems to us and could be visited by future human generations. No, so that's something different here. Hold on, let me see. Could have sworn I had something on. Let me see really quickly. I could be wrong, but I was pretty certain I had something saved in here regarding that, but I could be incorrect. Wow, there's so much to unpack. There's so many different stories. My God.
Okay, I have something here. It says, it's K218b. Recent observations using the James Webb Telescope suggest that the presence of molecules, specifically dimethyl sulfide and dimethyl disulfide in the atmosphere of exoplanet K2-18b, which could be an indicate the presence which could indicate the presence of life. These molecules are associated with life on Earth, produced by organisms like marine phytoplankton. While not definitely proof of life, this is considered the strongest evidence yet of potential biological activity outside of our solar system. So K2-18b is the name of the planet.
Wow. And I mean, we're slowly but surely getting closer and closer to the answer of this UFO thing. So,
and life on other planets.
Yeah,
because some people really believe that we're the only ones.
Yeah, that's true.
It says this exoplanet located about 124 light years away is 8.6 times the mass of Earth and orbits within the habitable zone of a red dwarf. Now, can you imagine waking up on this planet in the daytime and what you see is like a red dwarf sun?
I can't even imagine what that would be.
That must be beautiful. It must be gorgeous.
And then the article I have here, 4 tiny Earth-like planets found circling second closest star system to us, and could be visited by future human generations. A quartet of Earth-like worlds, each about 20% to 30% of the size of our planet, circle one of our closest stellar neighbors. And a new study reveals the rocky alien worlds are close enough that future generations of humans may be able to visit them with futuristic rocket propulsion technology. However, it is unlikely that we will find any life there. It says, astronomers have long suspected that there was at least one exoplanet orbiting Barnard's star, a red dwarf with a mass around 1/6 of the Sun. At 5.97 light years from Earth, it is the 4th closest star to our solar system, after 3 interconnected stars of the Alpha Centauri system. In the past, this is here, researchers assume the Barnard star, circled by a gas giant exoplanet similar to Jupiter, Jupiter, because the star frequently wobbles closer to and then further from the sun, from the Earth. Hold on. It says there, because the star frequently wobbles closer to and then farther from the Earth. This suggests that something is gravitationally tugging on the star, similar to how the moon pulls on our planet and causes the Earth's tides. However, proving the existence of such planet has remained elusive. But a new study published in March 11th, in the Astrophysical Journal Letters, researchers say that they have discovered that this wobbling is not caused by the pull of one gas giant, but instead by the combined force of exerted by 4 smaller rocky worlds, each around 4 times more massive than Mercury. It is a really exciting
It's being like,
yeah. And it's really exciting find. A doctoral candidate at the University of Chicago said in a statement, Bernard star is our cosmic neighbor. And yet we know so little about it. Wow.
I have a picture of K18, or what they think K18b might look like. I shared it on my screen, and so you can, on the bottom right there. There it is.
Yeah, very, very fascinating. And we still got some viewers watching with us live, which we thank all of you.
Yes, and remember, this show is not our show, it's your show as well. Don't be a wellepoo, because those are the ones that come in and they leave. Bobolongos are the ones that come in, right, and they stick around a while, but don't comment. And then you got your verdugos who stick around, like the content, and they comment, so we give you a badge and we give you some fanfare. So we
Shame. 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 Shame.
Gesundheit.
Shame.
Oh, you know it's impolite to sneeze into your hand and then dine on the contents.
Just to hate, you know? But this has been a very interesting cast.
Yes, and I need to do a personal break, boss, before we
wrap up. Well, before you do wrap up, for those that are watching, it is 3-1. I won this cast, so if you made a guess on who would be the winner of this cast, then you would win a free prize from one of us. This is including, any one of our Paramin products, whether it be our sweatshirts, our supplements, our water bottles, anything that you may want.
We might give you one of these.
Yeah.
Even personalized.
And stay tuned, because I have something that we'll be giving away even bigger prizes soon. So please, for those that are just watching, if you stick with this cast, I have huge plans, because potentially, my goal is to not only give away booty prizes, but some real money and vacations and, real experiences to our followers and to our listeners, just like a radio show would be as well. And there's actual ways that we can do it, which we'll talk more off cast, but there's definitely ways that we can provide that for those listeners. So if you support us now, keep in mind what we might be able to do for you in the future. And with that, I'll let you take your personal break.
Play them. I Got the Power off the Trello.
All right. Oh, wait a minute. I think that has.
Don't worry about it.
That has some copyright infringement problems, but
what did they do? Just cut that section off?
No, we could actually get banned from that. So then we'll probably.
Hi, I am a Bobolongo, and that is a cat I just found in the alley. A strange thing happened to me when I stumbled upon a bottle of Phenonmenon supplements and just took one gummy. I lifted up my sword and said, "By the power of Phenonmenon, I have the power."
So, get powerful just like me and get your Phenonmenon supplements at thepyramid.com. Wow, this is change my voice. Phenonmenon supplements.
Welcome back. So the AM PM game show and Are You Going to Hell is brought to you by Phenonmenon supplements. Reignite your play. And with that being said, let's go into our final segment as we were waiting for Mr. Anesto to finish his personal break. For those that are just viewing and watching us, thank you so much for being with us for so long. And, you know, keep your eye up to the skies. If you guys want to participate, we strongly encourage participation. So you can send us any videos that you may think that it will be valuable for us to go over. And with that being said, really quickly, one of our viewers did want us to cover something very important to him, which was the harp. And harp is something that we definitely are very aware of. However, there's very little factual evidence that we could bring forth to the light. So if you have more proof, if you have more corroborating evidence to prove that harp is doing what we believe it's doing, which is manipulating the weather, please share that on our paranormal.experience. Also, really quickly, as Anesto gets back into the scheme of things here, a quick little like paranormal enigmatic things that came across my desk here. So some 10 more enigmatic places than the Bermuda Triangle. There's a bunch of things. This is going to be a little bit too long, but there was like an image here that's very, very fascinating. I just wish I could put this up on screen, but this is going to be too long. So I'll skip this one and go.
I got one thing that might be fascinating. Would you be wanting to?
Yeah, I'm waiting.
Okay, so I had this ready for show number 123 and we never got around to it.
Okay.
A satellite view caught a very interesting image of Bigfoot. If you go to the Trello show number 123, it says it right on there, Bigfoot satellite sightings.
All right, let's see.
Let me see. Make it easier for you. Maybe I can put it on. I can share my my screen.
There we go. Interesting. Is that really a Bigfoot though?
Okay, so if you go to the one below it, no, not on this, on the Trello.
Oh, okay.
There's a video that shows what the hell was that the satellite discovered.
Let's see.
Spot in all of the Rocky Mountains. That includes the U.S. and Canada. Both of us had a chuckle about the zoomed-in satellite image of the Bigfoot shape and chalked it up to a neat coincidental capture of this that is circulating. The next day, I saw a Fox 31 News article that had just been posted regarding the same satellite image my friend had sent me the day before. The article went on to state that the figure was estimated to be around 7.5 feet tall and walking in a northwest direction. Further analysis concludes the subject is at the edge of a dried-up pond that transitions from full to empty during different times of the year. Other satellite images show a full pond and no Bigfoot-like figure. Either the figure is mobile and by chance was captured, or it is an anomaly that disappears when the pond fills during the spring runoff. Our team spends a lot of time investigating sighting report locations in Montrose County, Montgomery Forest, and surrounding areas. Once.
So that particular report, was blazing through regular radio reports, and even went viral. So it got into the regular media. But what they say was that somebody put a cutout of a Bigfoot.
Really?
And what they saw was the cutout. That's what the satellite video caught upon.
That's very fascinating.
If you want to believe that.
Or they have mad scientists out there that are
like the island of Dr. Moreau.
And then I also want to shout out some of the people that were watching this cast. We like to put some of you guys up here on screen, so that way you guys know that we appreciate you as well. So all those Bobolongos that are watching, we appreciate you. And the ones that are on our Twitch and our YouTube, we appreciate you as well. And the ones that were joined in the other, on my personal feed, I thank you as well. They were commenting as well. And it's time for the final segment.
But before you go to the final segment, right? I want to move on. It's really just a quick little thing. Let me see if you'll be able to catch this before we go. And you might not be able to. Let me see.
We got to keep it moving.
Just give me a sec. Let's see my profile. Actually, yeah. Okay, so
we didn't even touch on the Pope's passing, which we'll have to cover again in the next episode.
Okay, so let me share my screen. Now, remember how I said that I have movies inside my mind? I want to share with you. I already shared it on regular social media, which is what I do for fun, which is my way also of copywriting stuff. Because if I show it on and it's my content, it's my copyright. All right, so there it is. And what do I have to do? Play it?
Yep.
Wants to do Conan, but that's already been done.
So why don't you play that clip? Mr. Robert Rodriguez, opportunity is knocking.
Yeah, absolutely. We are trying to evoke opportunity.
There we go.
There you go, Robert. You want to make some... Contact me. I got some really good content.
Well, you got to create the body of work first.
Hey, there you go. Well, the body of work is right behind you.
And with that being said...
Turn off the light. Take a deep breath. And relax.
You're not a cultural religion. It's just always okay to relax your breath. To a meditation pose, lotus pose, whatever you want to call it. Don't be afraid of your own voice. You're in your house, make some sound, no one cares. You're basically massaging the central nervous system, which, trust me,
Take us home. We have reached the end of the Paranormal Podcast. Thank you for joining in. For those who joined, thank you. I'm going to thank all of you guys. The Wellepus, the Bobolongos, and the Verdugos. This is show number 125. Thank you for participating. And you participate just by being a viewer. We would encourage you to please comment. Go to our link tree, thepyramid.com, and like and subscribe on all our social medias, on YouTube, and help us grow so that we can, somehow try to monetize this so that we can bring you better content, get better equipment, and grow our show with viewers and all. So with that said, this is the part of the show we end with a strong Om to clear our bodies of toxic energy and evoke positivity, positive frequency, and we could begin our week on a good foot. And we do that by starting off with a prayer, and then we Om. So let's bow our heads and begin our prayer. Holy Father, fill me with your divine light and overflowing positivity. Grant me the strength to radiate love and joy in all that I do. Guide me to attract positive energy and repel negativity. May your presence uplift my spirit and bring hope to those around me. Amen.
Amen.
So let's take a deep breath. Toxic energy and evoking positivity, love, happiness, family, home, heart. Folks, thank you for tuning in. I am Anesto Morado.
And I'm Pablo Morado.
And remember, if the universe is infinite,
then so are the possibilities.
Keep your eyes to the sky. Remember, about 4 to sunrise, because the paranormal is all around us. You just gotta look closely.
Good night, folks.
There's a reason for this. There's a reason education sucks, and it's the same reason that it will never, ever, ever be fixed. It's never going to get any better. Don't look for it. Be happy with what you got. Because the owners of this country don't want that. I'm talking about the real owners now. The real owners, the big wealthy businesses that control things and make all the important decisions. Forget the politicians. The politicians are put there to give you the idea that you have freedom of choice. You don't. You have have no choice. You have owners. They own you. They own everything. They own all the important land. They own and control the corporations. They've long since bought and paid for the Senate, the Congress, the state houses, and city halls. They got the judges in their back pockets. And they own all the big media companies, so they control just about all of the news and information you get to hear. They got you by the balls. They spend billions of dollars every year lobbying to get what they want. Well, we know what they want. They want more for themselves and less for everybody else. But I'll tell you what they don't want. They don't want a population of citizens capable of critical thinking. They don't want well-informed, well-educated people capable of critical thinking. They're not interested in that. That doesn't help them. That's against their interest. That's right. They don't want people who are smart enough to sit around the kitchen table and figure out how badly they're getting fucked by a system that threw them overboard 30 fucking years ago. They don't want that. You know what they want? They want obedient workers. Obedient workers. People who are just smart enough to run the machines and do the paperwork and just dumb enough to passively accept all these increasingly shittier jobs with the lower pay, the longer hours, the reduced benefits, the end of overtime, and the vanishing pension that disappears the minute you go to collect it. And now they're coming for your Social Security money.